Hey everybody, I'm Michelle with Birdie Bloom, and today's video is a rehab video. I'm going to show you how to remove paint from a vintage Coach leather bag. I do advise you to watch the whole video. I did spend time in making it and editing it to try to shorten it as much as possible. There are some really key points in the video, so please watch it. Like this video if you do, and subscribe to my channel for more vintage Coach bag talk. Also, I have a vintage Coach eye candy group on Facebook, and I would love for you to join it there so you can check out more vintage Coach eye candy pictures. Okay, this is the bag that I removed paint. I'm not showing it to you till the end, but there are a couple of key points or key things that I hope that this video does for you. One, obviously, that it shows you how you can remove paint from a vintage Coach leather bag and then how to care for it afterwards. That's very important. And two, I hope that this video overall teaches you to, whether you have paint or not on your bag, to look at your bag, to assess it, to properly care for it. There are things you can do to optimize your bag and at the same time care for your leather. And then wait after you do those things to reassess before you decide to apply a permanent product to your leather bag that does nothing to care for the leather and improve its longevity. So I hope this video teaches you those things, and I hope you enjoy it. Yeah, thanks for watching. Let's get started. So I got this bag. It's a Helen's Legacy, and this is my first Helen's Legacy. I got it so that I could do a size comparison of all the duffel sacks. This is one that I had been missing, and I thought it felt off when I first got it, but I was kind of like quick to accept it. And guys, I just thought maybe it was a little dry. Doesn't look bad, right? So I conditioned it, and then after I felt like the conditioner had enough time to absorb, I buffed it. It really didn't change the feel. I mean, it's not like super hard or anything like that, but it just doesn't feel the way a vintage Coach should feel. And I know that's hard to appreciate here. And you can see the grain. But guys, guess what? After, continuing to feel this, I'm like, this just isn't feeling right. It's just not quite right. I tested on the bottom, and I ended up removing paint. This is all removed now. This is what the bag should look like. I mean, this was painted as well. That's actually the removal of the paint. So I did this last night and I conditioned it. But I thought, you know what, let me show you how I remove paint. After I realized it was painted, I did my little tricks of trying to determine if I see paint. That's taking I don't know if this has been painted. This feels a little softer, but I'm telling you, this was actually, if you can call a paint job good, it was a good paint job. But then, you know how I look in the pocket to see that demarcation, and there is a little bit of a demarcation there. It's really hard to appreciate. It's a light layer of paint, but it's enough. Sorry, my boys are yelling. I guess I need to go figure out what they're yelling about. It's enough to, render this bag, in my opinion, not the same quality. It's going to prevent it from continuing to live on. This was made in 1995, so I am removing it. So this is what I'm going to use to remove the paint. I've got just like little cotton pads. This Inglis leather prepare and deglazer does a really good job at removing paint. It's not just acetone, there's also ethyl alcohol in it. And the combination works really well. I used to use just acetone, but I like this better. So, and I'm just gonna try to show you how it's just gonna melt off. And as you can see, you can probably see, this is the real color of the bag. This is wet right now. Hopefully it's not a stain. So when I look inside the bag, I don't really see any crazy stains, but that's the thing with a painted bag. You don't really know what you're gonna get. So I'm not sure what they try to cover up, but I don't see like pitting in the bag, which might be a sign that mold measles were covered up. I don't really see anything. So often when I remove stuff from bags, what I find is that the bag just needed condition. There was nothing wrong with it. It was beautiful. I don't know why people put stuff like this on bags. It's so frustrating. But here I go again. I'm gonna save it. Stay tuned. All right, so I've removed just half of the paint, and I haven't conditioned this yet. And yeah, so we're gonna see what the condition is like, but you can't even consider this the condition, though I'm seeing some darkening. You really have to fully take care of the bag. So I may end up washing it because there may be some grease stains underneath, but we'll see. This is so far what I've done, and yes, it doesn't look good, but it will look better. All right, so removal of paint. Again, this is not what it's gonna look like eventually, but I just want to show you because acetone, you know, this deglazer deprepper, it can also remove dye. So I just wanted to give you an idea of what would be normal. And this, you know, this is more normal. This isn't paint. This is just potentially lifting a little bit of dye. Maybe I like to go back over it. There might be a little bit there because what you have here is you have crevices. You know, the grain is, it's bumpy. It's skin. So you do, yeah, I am getting a little bit more. That's not just dye. So I'm going to go back over it again, but yeah, that darker part, that's some paint. So I'm going to go back over it again and try to remove, you know, the leftover paint here. Okay, so I went over it again, and it's still kind of wet from the alcohol. This will evaporate. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put a good amount of leather CPR on it. And what I'm just gonna do is I'm gonna rub it all in. Okay. It's already starting to absorb a lot of it because I kind of just let it sit, but that's okay. I'm gonna go ahead and this is how I condition my bags most of the time. These are recycled. That isn't too abnormal, but it's also to be expected when you remove stuff. But even if you don't have anything on your bag, you can get, when you're conditioning a bag, a little bit of dye loss like that. So I don't know if you can see, do you see how splotchy that looks right now? Well, that's just because this bag is really dry from using that deglazer on it to remove the paint. And so I'm going to condition it more because it absorbed in these areas without letting me spread it more. Essentially, I'm just putting the nutrients back in this bag right now. It looks splotchy, it is dry. I only removed on the side here. It's okay, I'm getting it on the paint side too. That's fine, it's not gonna hurt anything, but I need more on this side too. And if there are areas that I potentially miss, because again, this is very textured, leather is textured, that's normal. If there are areas that I missed, I'll see this after I let the bag recondition and set and then reevaluate. And this is gonna take at least, you know, 12 hours, 8 to 12 hours before I would even consider us reassessing it. So I'm really trying to get the trim here. Trim is always the driest, period. And actually, it didn't really look like the trim had been painted, interestingly enough. I mean, maybe, again, this bag was hard for me to even, I couldn't even really fully tell that it was painted right off the bat. Like some bags I can tell right away there's something applied. I don't necessarily know what it is, but this one, yeah, I mean, I probably should have known because I knew it felt off, but I don't know what kind of paint they used. If they used like conditioner with the paint, I'm not really sure, but it wasn't obvious right off the bat. So when it became obvious is when I wasn't budging the leather. I wasn't able to recondition it. I wasn't able to soften it. I wasn't able to buff it. That's where I was like, let's test it because this isn't normal. And sure enough. Okay. Definitely gonna need more, and it looks splotchy right now. Can you appreciate that? Maybe not as much, but it's okay. You're gonna reevaluate it, okay? You don't assess, you don't judge and make decisions on bags that are wet, whether that be with water, conditioner, deglazer, whatever. You don't make decisions on what to do next until a bag is fully dry, okay? So here's the bottom of it that I'd already removed. Again, this is glossy because it's wet. Here's the bag, painted side that I have not removed yet. Let's see if you can appreciate the difference. This is so much nicer, so much better. That's what we're removing. Stay tuned. She's definitely not done yet. Okay, so this is reabsorption of conditioner. Sorry, I am rough right now. But back to the bag. I see no reason so far for this bag to have been painted. This is the side that I removed the paint. We still have another side to go. This side has paint on it. I still need to remove it. Here, I'm going to show you a little side by side to see what they ended up painting it was a slightly darker color than the original. Yeah, I see no reason. I don't know if you can appreciate before I left you when the bag was, I had reconditioned it with a lot of leather CPR after removing the paint. You know, it looked really splotchy and whatnot. It looked like there might have been oil stains. I wasn't sure. I see nothing. I see literally nothing. This bag looks beautiful and it feels lovely now. This is the bottom. Also very lovely. There's like a little scuff. Yeah, a little scuff right here that I'm not really buffing out, but it's the bottom of the bag, guys. And it's fine. Absolutely fine. Okay, so maybe there's something on this side. So let's find out. Let's remove the rest of the paint on this bag and let's find out. I'm gonna video it. It's a long process. This is my laundry room, by the way. If you see laundry, dirty towels, all that fun stuff. We're going to remove the rest of this paint. And see if we find the reason for painting it. A white mark that I'm actually removing. I don't know if you can see it now. Do you see that white mark? Could that been the reason that they painted it? That actually can come off with acetone. That looks like you hit your bag against a wall or something with paint on it, it can transfer onto the bag. Easy removal, people. Don't need to freaking paint the whole bag. Seriously. I don't know. I don't know if that's the reason. I don't know. Tell me, answer. Like, what is being said out there? Why are people doing this? Why? I love vintage Coach because the leather is timeless. These bags, the design, they last, they feel amazing, and they rebound really well. But if you put something on the bag that coats it, that prevents you from being able to rebound the bag, then it defeats the whole purpose of the amazingness. I mean, bags are painted these days, right? Like leather, what is leather today? If you buy a leather bag, it's like plastic almost. It might be leather underneath some sort of like thick layer of paint, or I don't know. I don't even know what people put on bags, but it doesn't feel real. It's not like these. I do have my room here ventilated, sort of. Probably could do a better job at it. My windows are open. Wearing gloves. Take caution when you're using chemicals. It's just, I can't really tell you, or I can't explain it, but it's not going to hurt to stop and to recondition. I mean, except for the fact that you're essentially wasting product, because you're going to have to, I mean, you're not really wasting it. You're doing something with it. But you're obviously, if you don't remove all the paint, you're going to have to go back on it with acetone or this leather prepper deglazer. So do you see the swirl? Oh, hold on, you probably can't see it. I can see it. The swirl from the conditioner absorbed immediately. So I'm gonna give it a break. Looks like a lot of conditioner, right? Needs it. Some people think this is abnormal. This is normal. Some people think when they get like a whole lot of color loss from conditioning, I've seen it thrown out. Oh, it's probably been painted or whatever. No, paint shouldn't just be removed with conditioner. Paint kind of sticks. That's not how you tell a bag's been painted. That's typically polish or coloring cream of some sort. It's not paint. It's just that your bag's not going to absorb the conditioner if it has paint on it. That's how you tell. It's not, like I said, it's not changing. It's not softening. It's not done yet, folks. Still have some ways to go. but we're almost there. She needed a break though, so I'm giving it to her. It's a hard process to take chemicals to this bag to strip it. Not something you want to do lightly. You want to appreciate what you're doing, right? Give the bag what it needs. Okay. Alright, we're going to let her sit. Still probably have quite a bit of paint to remove, but it's definitely mostly gone. This bag is absorbing, able to take in some conditioner now, so that's a good sign. But yeah, I know there's a lot more paint on it, so continue to stay tuned. Second round for the last side of this Helen's Legacy bag. There's still paint on it. I know you probably can't appreciate it, but it really doesn't look that great. It's still doesn't feel good. There's still paint. I just thought it was getting too dry for my taste, so I decided to give it a break last night, and we're going to continue the process of removing the rest of the paint. It's that darkened area. This lighter area, that's dye. So if you get down to just that, but this dark area, that's still paint that you see here. And I still haven't found the reason, but I haven't removed all the paint. Maybe this side will show us the reason as to why this bag was even painted to begin with. Because as of now, the bottom and the other side came out beautifully. The paint came off and the bag is conditioned and looks nearly perfect. So let's see if we can find a reason. It's just darkening because I'm getting more in the same area. I'm looking for that blackness. That's what I'm looking for. And I think we're good. I think I got it all. I'm not seeing anything else. Maybe just, no. That trim looks okay. This trim looks okay. I'm gonna make sure I really get in the crevice here though, because yeah, by putting my nail in here around the bottom rim here, I'm pulling a little bit more. That's probably got underneath that trim. Yep. See that? Actually, I'm gonna do it to the top too, because that also, like using my nail to get underneath that trim, because that paint gets up in there if someone's painted this stuff. Yep. Okay, I think, let me just see in this area. I'm gonna get around this trim too again. I'll just recondition this. already did. Let's make sure. This is the side already treated, but yeah, I don't think I got up under that edge good. So yeah, all right. So we'll recondition that, but this is dry. That's probably just wetness, but we'll see. Remember, we're searching for a reason that this bag was painted. But you can't determine that until the bag is fully conditioned and dry. So. On the home stretch. Even the hang tag had paint on it. This is removing, this is wet from the acetone. I didn't even. Actually, I already buffed this. I'm just showing you how I do buff. And probably a short amount of time here because I've already buffed it, but I'm going to apply another layer of conditioner after buffing, and I think she's going to be ready to reveal after that. What I'm doing is I'm just trying to appreciate where maybe the reasoning was found to paint this bag. This is actually the last side. It really just needs reconditioning here. Another layer of conditioner. All right, guys, for the reveal. First, I'd like to remind you how I ended up with this bag that was painted. If I had realized it was painted ahead of accepting it and actually spending some time with it, I would have probably returned it. It wasn't cheap. I only bought, it's a Helen's Legacy duffel sack, and I bought it so I could specifically do a comparison video with the other duffel sacks, the Maggie duffel, and then that original duffel sack that's called like an extra large feed bag. Those are some names, extra large duffel sack. And I am gonna do that video. But for whatever reason, I had never acquired a Helen's Legacy. I don't know why. It's that medium-sized bag. And I've been keeping my eyes open for a good deal. And what I saw was poor pictures, but what looked to be a bag in excellent condition for a pretty decent price. So I thought, oh, less work, great. And that's how I typically buy bags nowadays. I used to really buy as cheap as possible, you know, super dirty, and you know, they would require a lot of work. I don't always go that route these days. I try to spend a little bit more money so I have less work to do. Didn't end up being the case. So when I first got the bag, I knew it felt kind of off, but I thought it was just dry. So I said this in the video, if you can call a paint job good, this had a good paint job. I don't really consider paint jobs good because I just don't think it's the best thing for bags, but needless to say, it wasn't streaky. I mean, it was done really well. Those typical things that I look at, they blended really well with the bag, so it wasn't standing out to me. And I didn't realize that it had been painted until I tried to revive the leather by conditioning it and buffing it, and that wasn't working. None of it was working. It wasn't budging the leather, and that's when I knew something was not right with it, and then I tested it. So how I test is I'll take a spot, like an inconspicuous spot, and I will use the products I typically use. In this case, it's that acetone alcohol combination with a Q-tip to slightly just touch the leather and see what comes off. And if it's painted or has another type of application, you will see a lot of color coming off, it's paint, it's product. And that's how you know. So those products though can remove, like lift dye. So if it's faint, then it's probably just dye and something else is going on with the bag. So there's that. But yeah, so I had to remove paint on a bag. I didn't intend to, but I did, and here she is. I will say that when you paint a bag, when someone paints a bag and you're removing it, you don't know what you're gonna get. And you can see in that video, this bag was not looking really great initially. And that's typical, okay? Because you're also, when you're removing it, you're drying it out even more. But this is the bag with all of the paint removed and properly conditioned. I don't know. But once properly conditioned, you know, I said, I don't know. I don't know why they painted it. What I'm imagining is that this bag was dry. They didn't condition it properly. And so some wear might have shown through a little bit more. I mean, if you really look, you might see some areas that might be just a little darker from scratches. But once you condition it, it blends really, really well. I mean, this bag is beautiful. It feels lovely now. It's so soft, so luxurious. It's amazing. And it wasn't, because it was painted and there was no way I was going to get back that quality without removing it. So that's what I hope you take away from this video. Somebody chose to paint this bag probably because they thought it needed it. They thought it looked ugly, it didn't look good, they wanted it to look prettier. And proper conditioning. I dry this bag even more than what it probably was prior to painting it, right? With that product to remove the paint. I dried it out even more, and I was able to, with slow reconditioning, bring it back to life. So please, when you're looking at your bag and you're assessing your bags, try to condition them, okay? Try to just give them what they need. Clean them and condition them. And then wait, okay? Again, don't assess and look at your bag and judge it while it's still wet with any type of product, no matter what that is. Water, conditioner. In that case, in this video, I showed you wetness with acetone, an alcohol combo. And also give it a few days. Let things sit. You gotta wait. Leather does not just absorb the conditioner right away. That's gonna be okay and fine. You gotta wait. You gotta be patient. Literally, I mean, do you see any issues with this bag? No. nothing. It is a used bag. It is not brand new. It's not gonna look brand new. But my gosh, if this isn't just beautiful, I don't know. I don't know what is, guys. Paint wasn't, so. I hope you enjoyed my video. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel for more Vintage Coach bag talks, guys. All right, join my Facebook group also, Vintage Coach Eye Candy, if you wanna just check out eye candy. Bye-bye.